When you open your eyes in the morning, the world rushes in, light spills across your room, sounds echo softly in the distance, and the familiar contours of your surroundings seem to affirm one undeniable truth: that reality exists outside of you, waiting to be perceived. But what if that is the greatest illusion of all? What if, rather than perceiving the world, you are projecting it, casting the entire fabric of existence outward from the silent depths of your own consciousness? This idea may sound strange, even impossible, yet beneath the surface of ordinary perception lies a secret so profound that mystics, physicists, and philosophers alike have spent millennia circling around its edges. The universe you experience is not a mirror reflecting something out there. It is the mirror itself, reflecting you. The moment this realization begins to dawn, the texture of reality starts to shimmer. You notice that every thought seems to ripple outward and return to you disguised as coincidence. Every emotional tone you hold within seems to shape the tone of the world around you. The more you observe this subtle dance, the clearer it becomes that perception is not a passive act, it is a creative one. What you see is not simply what exists, it is what you are tuned to. Reality bends, molds, and shapes itself according to the vibration of your inner state, as though the cosmos were a vast hall of mirrors, endlessly reflecting your inner light and shadow. The mirror universe is not a place, it is a principle. It suggests that the fabric of existence behaves as a reflective medium for consciousness itself. Your relationships, your circumstances, your fears and joys, all of them are mirrored expressions of the patterns that dwell within you. This is why two people can stand beneath the same sky and see two entirely different worlds, one filled with beauty, the other with despair. The difference lies not in what the sky contains, but in what each observer projects onto it. From the smallest irritations to the grandest revelations, life is constantly showing you yourself. The colleague who frustrates you may be reflecting an unhealed part of your own impatience. The opportunity that keeps slipping through your fingers may be mirroring a hidden belief that you are not ready. Even the beauty you admire in others is often your own unacknowledged potential, glimpses of your higher nature, calling you home. In this way, reality functions not as a static stage, but as an interactive reflection, a cosmic feedback system designed to awaken you from the trance of separation. But how did we fall into that trance? Somewhere along the vast arc of human evolution, we began to believe that the self and the world were divided, that there was a me here and a reality out there. From this split was born the illusion of duality, the sense that we are victims of circumstance rather than co-creators of experience. This misconception anchors us in a life of struggle and reaction, forever chasing meaning in a world we believe is independent of us. Yet beneath this veil, the ancient truth whispers, the perceiver and the perceived are one. You cannot see a world you are not actively projecting. Modern science, in its own language, has begun to echo this mystic truth. Quantum physicists have found that the act of observation changes what is observed, that particles exist in a haze of probability until they are witnessed. Consciousness, it seems, plays an active role in shaping the reality it experiences. In essence, the universe behaves like a responsive mirror, one that rearranges its patterns according to the observer's attention and intention. What ancient sages described through parable and poetry, science now begins to approach through mathematics and measurement. This realization is not merely philosophical, it is revolutionary. It dismantles the passive narrative of human life and replaces it with an active one. It reveals that every human being is, at their core, an artist, painting the canvas of existence with the colors of their thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Your life, then, is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. Every interaction, every challenge, every fleeting joy is a brushstroke in the self-portrait your soul is painting across eternity. To live unaware of this truth is to remain trapped within the mirror. mistaking the reflection for the reality. You chase shadows, battle phantoms, and seek love or power or freedom in the shimmering images outside yourself, not realizing that all of it begins within. The moment you remember that you are the projector, not merely the spectator, the spell breaks. The mirror does not disappear, it transforms. What once seemed solid and indifferent becomes fluid, responsive, luminous with meaning. Life stops being something to endure and becomes something to sculpt. So this is the secret of the mirror universe. You are not seeing reality, you are being it. Every moment, you are breathing form into the formless, turning consciousness into creation. The outer world is the canvas, but the paint is your energy, and the brush is your awareness. Once you understand this, the question shifts from, what is real, to, what am I choosing to project? That single shift is the axis upon which awakening turns. To grasp the depth of this idea, that you do not perceive reality but project it, you must begin to sense the invisible architecture behind perception itself. It is not enough to say, the world mirrors me. You must feel how consciousness, the very substance of awareness, organizes the universe through its own vibration. Imagine the mind as a lantern, casting light outward into an infinite darkness. Whatever the lantern's glass contains, clarity, color, distortion, determines what the world appears to be. The light itself is neutral, but its expression depends on the medium through which it shines. You are that lantern, your consciousness is the light, and your beliefs, emotions, and expectations are the glass through which the cosmos takes shape. Every moment of your life is an act of projection, not in the sense of imagination or fantasy, but as a dynamic interplay between inner frequency and outer form. The material world is not an independent stage upon which consciousness plays, it is consciousness condensed, slowed into visibility. The atoms that build your surroundings are, at their core, energy vibrating in patterns that resonate with the energetic patterns you hold within. Like a tuning fork striking another of similar frequency, your inner world calls forth a matching vibration in the field of potentiality. Thus, what you call experience is the synchrony between your internal vibration and the universe's infinite field of mirrors. The ancient mystics described this as within, so without. They were not speaking in metaphor but in metaphysical law. Every feeling, every belief, every intention sends a subtle signal into the web of reality, which then returns as reflection, people, events, synchronicities, outcomes, all arranged in perfect resonance with the energy that summoned them. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. This is not moral judgment but energetic symmetry. The universe does not play favorites, it merely echoes. What this means, at the deepest level, is that perception itself is participatory. The observer is not separate from the observed. They are two faces of the same act of awareness. You believe you are looking at the world, but in truth, you are looking through yourself. Every perception you hold, every interpretation, every assumption, every emotional reaction, filters and shapes what appears before you. In this sense, the external world is a vast feedback system designed to reveal what you have yet to see within yourself. Fear, for example, projects a world that seems threatening. The anxious mind will find danger everywhere, not because danger objectively fills the air, but because fear colors perception. Likewise, love projects a world that feels open, warm, and abundant. When you dwell in love, even challenges appear as lessons, not punishments. The same event viewed through two different states of consciousness becomes two entirely different realities. The difference lies not in the event but in the observer's frequency. This is the secret behind what many traditions call karma or manifestation. It is not that the universe rewards or punishes, but that it mirrors. You are constantly in conversation with yourself through the language of experience. Every argument, heartbreak, or success is a word in that dialogue. If you learn to listen carefully, not to the noise of the world, But to the echo beneath it, you will begin to understand the grammar of projection. It speaks in symbols, emotions, and patterns that repeat until you finally recognize their source within. The ego, however, resists this realization. It thrives on the illusion of separation, on the story that things happen to you, not through you. It prefers blame to responsibility because to accept that you are the projector is to surrender control over the reflection and instead master the light itself. This is the paradox. Control over reality does not come from manipulating the mirror, but from cleansing the lens through which the light passes. When you change within, the world cannot help but rearrange. The reflection has no choice. This is why the spiritual masters throughout history, from the Buddha to Christ to Lao Tzu, spoke of inner transformation rather than external conquest. They knew the universe was a mirror, and that attempting to alter the reflection without shifting the source was a kind of cosmic futility. The kingdom of heaven is within you was not a metaphor for morality but an instruction for perception. The heaven or hell you inhabit is not a place, it is a projection of your state of consciousness. When you finally understand that consciousness precedes form, that awareness is the sculptor and the material, the boundaries of possibility begin to dissolve. You realize that miracles are not supernatural, they are natural consequences of alignment. When your inner state vibrates in harmony with what you seek, the universe reflects it effortlessly, like a mirror responding instantly to movement. There is no delay between cause and effect, they are simultaneous, bound by the same act of awareness. This truth reveals why so many people remain trapped in cycles of repetition. They attempt to change their outer life while maintaining the same inner state, seeking abundance while radiating lack, longing for love while projecting unworthiness. The mirror can only reflect what is held before it. To alter reality, you must alter the vibration behind the image. This is the secret discipline of the mirror universe, to stop fighting the reflection and begin mastering the projection. The implications are staggering. If every aspect of your life is a projection, then there is no true other. Every encounter is a meeting with an aspect of yourself. Every challenge an invitation to integrate what you have rejected. This understanding dissolves judgment and replaces it with compassion. When you see anger in another, you recognize it as unacknowledged anger within yourself. When you encounter beauty, you recognize your own essence shining through another form. Life becomes a hall of infinite mirrors, each reflecting the totality of who you are, in fragments, in symbols, in stories. And so the key themes of this mirror universe emerge. Consciousness as the source, perception as projection, the outer world as reflection, and transformation as an inner act. These are not abstract spiritual ideas but living mechanics of existence. Once understood, they shift the foundation of how you see everything, from relationships to destiny, from time to the very meaning of existence. There is an ancient story whispered across cultures, older than any scripture and retold in countless forms, the story of the dreamer and the mirror. It begins not with humanity, but with consciousness itself. In the beginning, there was no universe, no stars, no time, only awareness, infinite and still. Yet within that stillness was a subtle yearning to know itself. But how does infinity see itself when there is nothing other than itself to behold? So, the infinite divided, not in truth, but in imagination. It became the observer and the observed, the seer and the seen, the light and the mirror. This division, this sacred illusion, gave birth to reality as we know it. The cosmos unfolded as a hall of mirrors, reflecting consciousness back upon itself in endless forms. Galaxies, atoms, and human beings all became mirrors through which the one could recognize its infinite faces. In this story, you are both the mirror and the dreamer. You are the fragment that forgot it was the whole. To awaken is to remember that the reflection in the mirror is not separate from the light that casts it. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, is a scene in the dreamer's great experiment. an echo of the infinite trying to see its own nature. Consider the mirror as a living being. When you gaze into it, it does not lie, it only reflects. You may become angry at what you see, but the mirror has no preference. It does not decide what appears, it only reveals. In the same way, the universe has no bias, no moral judgment. It simply mirrors back the frequencies you emit. The suffering, the joy, the patterns of your life, they are all faithful reflections of the energy you hold. There is a parable told among mystics about a traveler who found himself in a strange city of mirrors. Everywhere he went, his image followed him, sometimes joyful, sometimes distorted, sometimes terrifying. The traveler cursed the mirrors, believing them to be haunted, until one day an old sage told him, "These mirrors show not your body, but your being. You do not walk through this city, it walks through you." The traveler laughed, thinking it nonsense, but over time he began to notice the truth. When he awoke in anger, the city's reflections grew chaotic and dark. When he walked in gratitude, the streets shimmered with light. Eventually, he understood. The city had never changed. It was he who projected the shadows and the brilliance alike. This story is not metaphor, it is instruction. Your life is that city. The events, people, and circumstances around you are the mirrors reflecting your consciousness. The question is not, why are they this way, but what do they reveal about what I am projecting? The mirror will always tell the truth, but only if you dare to look beyond the surface. There is also the symbol of the broken mirror. In many traditions, breaking a mirror is seen as bad luck. Esoterically, this represents fragmentation of the self, the moment we believe the reflection is real and forget the unity behind it. When the mirror of consciousness shatters into pieces, each fragment believes itself separate, isolated, incomplete. This is the human condition, each of us wandering through our reflections, seeking wholeness in the world, not realizing that we are the world looking for itself. To heal is to remember. To remember is to restore the mirror to wholeness. When you begin to see through the illusion of separation, the cracks in the glass begin to fuse. You realize that what you took for others were simply reflections of the same consciousness wearing different masks. The act of forgiveness, then, is not moral virtue but metaphysical restoration. When you forgive, you stop fighting your reflection. You polish the mirror instead of blaming its dust. There's another story, less known, about the mirror universe itself, a story whispered in the folds of mystical physics. It is said that every time you make a choice, reality splits, creating twin reflections, one in which you chose, and one in which you did not. These parallel worlds exist not beside each other but within the same cosmic mirror, each vibrating at slightly different frequencies. What you experience as your life is simply the reflection that matches your current vibration. Change the vibration, and you move into another mirror, another universe, without ever leaving the room. This is not fiction. It is a poetic way to express quantum truth. Observation shapes reality. The act of seeing determines what is seen. Every emotion, thought, or intention collapses infinite potential into a single version of existence. In every breath, you are painting the mirror of the universe with the brush of your awareness. The stars are not far away. They are ripples in the same ocean that forms your mind. But perhaps the most profound story is the one hidden in your daily life. Imagine, for a moment, that every encounter is a message from the mirror, and every person is a fragment of your own psyche in disguise. The friend who comforts you may represent the part of you that remembers compassion. The rival who frustrates you may embody the part that demands integration of your shadow. The stranger who smiles at you on a quiet street is the universe whispering, "I see you." Every reflection is purposeful. There are no accidents in a mirrored universe. Even pain is a teacher, a signal that some part of your projection longs to be acknowledged. To reject it is to distort the mirror further, To embrace it is to clear the fog and see truth shining through. When you begin to live this way, to see life as a grand hall of mirrors, you enter a state of lucid existence. Just as a dreamer can wake within the dream, you awaken within your own projection. You no longer react blindly to what appears before you. Instead, you respond as a conscious creator, aware that the reflection moves in rhythm with your inner world. This is the true awakening, not escaping the dream, but recognizing it as your own creation. And as you do, the mirror changes. The people who once mirrored your wounds now mirror your growth. The situations that once triggered fear now reveal wisdom. The world softens. Because you have softened, it becomes clearer. Because you have become clear. The dream and the dreamer, the mirror and the light, the self and the world, all merge into one seamless act of awareness. You finally see the truth. There was never a reflection separate from you at all. You were always staring into your own infinity, waiting to remember who you are. To grasp the mirror universe intellectually is one thing. To live within it consciously is another. Philosophy alone does not set you free. Knowledge without embodiment becomes another reflection in the hall of illusions, beautiful, perhaps, but still trapped within the glass. The true challenge begins when you try to walk through your life knowing that everything you see, everything you touch, and everyone you meet is a projection of your own consciousness. What does it mean to live in a mirror world? It means realizing that every emotion you feel is a signal from within the universe you are generating. The people you attract are not random, they are reflections of your vibration. Drawn to you as light attracts its own frequency. The conversations you have, the opportunities you encounter, the patterns that repeat, each is a mirror gently, or sometimes violently, showing you who you are. To awaken in the mirror universe is to stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What in me is this showing me?" Imagine, for example, that you find yourself surrounded by conflict, arguments, misunderstandings, disappointment. The mind's first instinct is to assign blame. The boss who doesn't understand you, the partner who doesn't listen, the stranger who was rude. But the moment you remember the mirror, something shifts. You stop defending and start observing. You ask, what vibration within me resonates with this pattern? What belief or expectation am I projecting that returns to me as this experience? The mirror does not lie, it reveals. And if you can learn to read its language, every challenge becomes a message from your higher self trying to get your attention. This understanding is both humbling and liberating. It removes the illusion of victimhood and replaces it with the responsibility of creation. Responsibility, in its truest form, is not a burden. It is the recognition that you are able to respond consciously to what appears before you. You are not bound to your reflections, you are shaping them with every breath. You begin to see that reality is less like a solid object and more like a fluid hologram, one that bends in accordance with the observer's state of consciousness. Living this truth in daily life requires presence. Presence is the art of looking into the mirror without judgment. It is the pause between reaction and creation. In that pause, you reclaim your power to rewrite the reflection. For example, when faced with anger, most people mirror it back unconsciously. They meet fire with fire. But the awakened being sees the fire and remembers, this too is my projection. They meet anger with stillness, not to suppress it, but to transmute it. They choose to become the calm that dissolves the storm rather than feeding it. This is not about becoming passive or indifferent. It's about becoming a lucid participant in your own projection. The more aware you become, the more malleable reality appears. You will begin to notice coincidences aligning with your thoughts, synchronicities forming patterns, time bending in subtle ways as if responding to your internal rhythm. The universe becomes a feedback loop of consciousness, mirroring every subtle shift in your energy. But here lies a deeper truth. The mirror does not only reflect your conscious intentions, it also reveals your unconscious ones. The parts of yourself you repress or deny still project into the mirror as people or situations that frustrate you. This is why spiritual awakening often feels turbulent. The light you bring to the world exposes the shadows within. You might find yourself attracting more chaos, not because you are failing, but because you are finally illuminating what was hidden. This is the sacred process of integration, the alchemy of mirrors. Every time you face a painful reflection and choose awareness instead of avoidance, the energy locked within that pattern is released. The mirror clears, and the reflection becomes purer. Over time, life begins to feel lighter, more fluid, as if the universe itself is breathing with you rather than against you. To integrate this practically, one must cultivate conscious observation. Notice your inner dialogue when you encounter resistance. The words you use about others are windows into the state of your inner world. When you call someone selfish, ask yourself where in your life you withhold love or generosity. When you admire someone's courage, recognize that you are seeing your own potential mirrored back to you. Every emotion, pleasant or painful, is an opportunity to polish the glass of perception. The second step is alignment. Once you see what the mirror reveals, you choose consciously how to respond. If the reflection is fear, respond with curiosity. If it is lack, respond with gratitude. If it is judgment, respond with understanding. Every time you do this, you send a new vibration into the mirror, and the reflection must eventually change to match it. Over time, this practice transforms the mundane into the miraculous. Daily life becomes a spiritual dialogue, a two-way communication between your soul and the universe. The traffic jam that once annoyed you becomes a moment of stillness. The stranger's glance becomes a signpost. The setback becomes guidance in disguise. When you live in this way, you no longer move through life unconsciously. Life moves through you with purpose. This is the true mastery of the mirror universe, not control, but harmony. To control is to force the reflection into shape. To harmonize is to adjust your vibration until the reflection naturally aligns. Control belongs to fear. Harmony belongs to wisdom. And wisdom understands that the mirror's purpose is not to flatter, but to teach. When you align deeply enough, you begin to experience a strange shift. The mirror starts responding faster. Manifestations occur with uncanny speed. Thoughts seem to take shape almost instantly. This is not magic, it is resonance. The denser your vibration, through fear, doubt, or judgment, the slower the reflection changes. The lighter and clearer you become, the more fluid the reflection. In this way, the universe becomes a living symphony, an echo of your consciousness sung back to you in infinite variations. To live as a conscious mirror dweller is not to escape the world, but to engage it fully. With awareness, every smile you give, every word you speak, every silence you hold, it all reverberates through the fabric of reality. You begin to see that you are not in the universe is in you, reflecting itself endlessly through the mirror of your mind. In the stillness between breaths, in the space before thought becomes form, lies the quiet truth the sages have whispered across millennia. Reality is not something you look at, it's something you look through. It is not a painting hanging outside of you, but a canvas being painted by your very seeing. Every perception, every expectation, every emotion is a brushstroke. And now, as we stand before the mirror of the universe, you are invited to see that the reflection was never just light, it was consciousness itself, staring back, waiting to remember its own power. When you understand that you do not perceive reality but project it, something radical begins to unfold. The world ceases to be an adversary and becomes a participant. The people you meet are no longer coincidences but echoes of the patterns you hold within. The events that unfold are no longer random but rhythmic, the rhythm of your own vibration reverberating through the fabric of the universe. This realization does not ask you to escape the world or to deny pain or conflict. It asks you to look deeper, To see that even suffering, even confusion, are forms of energy waiting to be integrated back into wholeness. There is a sacred responsibility in this knowing. For once you realize that every thought is a seed and every emotion a wave that reshapes the sea of your experience, you begin to live differently. You choose your inner state not as a reaction but as a creation. You become intentional with silence, deliberate with love, and precise with the stories you tell yourself. You understand that to curse the world is to curse your own reflection, and to bless it is to polish the mirror through which your divinity shines. Imagine, for a moment, that every morning when you awaken, the world has no form until you open your eyes. The buildings, the sky, the people, none of it yet exists until your consciousness calls it forth. This is not mere imagination, in a very real quantum sense. It mirrors the truth that the observer and the observed are intertwined. The universe waits for your gaze to define its geometry. In this sense, you are both the sculptor and the clay, both the dreamer and the dream. But this realization is not meant to inflate the ego, rather, it humbles it, because in understanding your power as the projector, you see that everyone else is projecting too. The grand mosaic of existence is the sum of infinite perceptions, infinite inner worlds weaving into one vast field of shared meaning. Every person you meet carries a fragment of your reflection, and you carry a fragment of theirs. The universe, then, becomes not a mirror hall of isolation but a living dialogue, a divine conversation between countless centers of consciousness, each learning to see itself in the other. This is the essence of compassion. To forgive is to realize that the reflection hurting you was your own misunderstanding. To love is to recognize yourself in another form of the same light. When you stop trying to control what appears in the mirror and begin to polish the clarity of your seeing, life shifts. Reality becomes more responsive, more fluid, more alive. The people around you start to change not because they're different, but because you are seeing them differently. This is the alchemy of awareness, the power to transmute perception into creation. And so, the mirror universe is not an external cosmos. It is the inner landscape of consciousness reflecting itself endlessly. It whispers, as within, so without, as above, so below. Every galaxy, every atom, every heartbeat vibrates with the same message, that separation was the illusion, and unity has always been the truth. When you gaze into the mirror of existence and see both your shadow and your light, you are witnessing the entire universe becoming self-aware through you. This is the secret the mystics tried to express through poetry and paradox, that awakening is not about changing the world, but about remembering that the world was always you. When you align with that remembrance, fear loses its weight. Life no longer feels like a problem to solve, but a masterpiece unfolding through you. Even the unknown ceases to terrify, because it is recognized as another reflection, another part of the mirror you have yet to light with your awareness. So the call now is not just philosophical, it is transformational. Begin to live as though the universe is your mirror, and it will start to respond as one. When you encounter beauty, let it remind you of your own radiance. When you meet pain, let it show you where your love has not yet reached. When you feel lost, remember that the map was never outside of you. It was written into your perception from the very beginning. Every moment you choose awareness over reaction, creation over consumption, love over fear. You shift the reflection. You polish the mirror. You change the entire field of existence, not through force, but through resonance. The more you see the divine within yourself, the more the world becomes luminous around you. And in time, you will realize that the mirror was never glass at all, it was consciousness, endlessly folding upon itself, awakening from the dream of otherness. Now, as this journey concludes, the question that remains is not what is reality, but who is perceiving it. The answer echoes softly, from somewhere beyond thought and within the heartbeat of being. It is you, the mirror and the light. the observer and the infinite reflection.